What's going on, YouTube? It's your boys. I'm ZLB Studios. I'm here with Mod and Skrew. Skrew's new to the Stream Feens, so make sure to go and check out his channel and everything. It will be linked in the description below. And you are now
Hell
watching
yeah.
Stream Fiends episode number 9 for the podcast series. Um, Honestly, none of us have anything prepared today, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a fun time. So I don't know who really wants to go first. I've had one hell of a week. It's been stressful as shit. Um, Doing Tarkov Tuesdays with Skrew and Former, on the other hand, has definitely made that a little bit better for my
How's
week.
that been?
But
You guys been having a blast on that or what?
I've been
Yeah,
getting mad content, bro. Mad
yeah,
content.
I've been having
Freaking
a good time.
Former and Skrew had like this whole skit thing that they did where they were pulling down face shields and everything, and I went and put it on my TikTok, and it's actually doing really well right now, dude. Like really
Nice.
well. It's just so
Sick.
funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, that really is a good clip. That really is a good clip. It just came out of nowhere too. Like he just forward walked
Yo,
straight
check
into
this
that
out.
dude.
Check this out.
Yeah, I didn't.
Uh,
He just just happened. That was good stuff.
oh my god. All right. Well, I guess this would be a good opportunity for everyone to kind of get to know you, Screw, seeing as how, you just recently came on to Stream Fiends, for the most part, other than Mod and I, like not a whole lot of people go, oh, hi, Luna. Special guest, Luna. Hi
Welcome,
there.
welcome.
She just came rolling out of nowhere. I didn't even know that the door was open. Oh, she pushed the door open. Okay. But yeah,
Smart dog.
as besides, me and Mod, well, and Former, obviously, as of recent, like not a whole lot of the Stream Fiends guys have actually like got to personally know you, or
Right.
like like even get to like chill and play on like any game. So I don't know if you want to take some time and talk about who you are, stuff like that, where you come from, what's your streaming history, so on and so forth.
Right.
Just gonna
Well,
layer it
man. I
there
mean,
too.
yeah. I I've been streaming. Like I actually just like looked at this the other day. Like I was like scrolling through my achievements or whatever. Your stream achievements, you get like viewers this whatever. I scrolled like all the way down to the bottom, and of course it has like the first time you went live or whatever, and it was
Oh, it does.
January. Yeah, yeah, it'll
Oh,
tell you like because you get an achievement or whatever. Like it like marks the day. It was like January 6th of like 2018. No,
dang.
yeah, no, it's my streaming like career, we'll call it, like has it's been a little different. Like I say that different than some. Like I got into streaming just because I wanted a better way than like Xbox Live to like get clips. You know what I mean? And like just make stuff. I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
making it for anybody. I just wanted to do it. Like and I really couldn't stop myself from doing it. Like I got like so far into doing it. Like I was editing like YouTube videos like all from my phone and just spending like stupid
Damn.
amounts of time like just laying in bed and just what I mean, doing all this stuff. Uh, and that's when I won't say like I just realized not right then like how much I liked it, but I definitely knew like I had found like something I was like really into. Because like my gaming history, you know what I mean, was kind of like broken up as far as like I had a pretty big stretch of like where I didn't game, and it was from like I don't know, like I'd say like 13 or 14 or something. Like my second PlayStation that I had fixed, like we all had to do that shit, like take those things apart and like clean
Yeah.
off the laser and all that stuff. Like after my second one messed up, like I was getting into that, like a whole lot of other stuff, just doing kid stuff, interest change and whatever. But then like I said, I guess it would have been 2017 or so. Like uh I was living in Texas and my roommate at the time, like uh he had an Xbox. I think he had it whenever he moved in, and he had Gears 4 on it. And I had played it before. I'd played Gears before, not Gears 4, I guess, but I'd played Gears before. anyway, I just, I sat down and played that one day, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. You know what I mean? Like I just like a light went off. Like what? What have I been doing? And it wasn't like a month later, and I bought like this Xbox that I've got now, and just like took off, man. I didn't start on like shooters and stuff like as soon as I got back to it. Like that's always been my thing, but I also like story, like campaign and single player stuff. Like I'm kind of, like I like Assassin's Creed. I like
Assassin's
God of
Creed's
War.
good.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
What system did you start off as a kid? What system did you start off with?
Right. So like the first games that I played was actually kind of cool, man. Like my grandpa, my dad's dad, like this ex-Navy guy, like had this like crew cut and like old sailor tattoos and stuff. Uh, he would be playing. I didn't know what it was at first. Like he would be playing like Super Mario, at like 8 o'clock at night after my grandma had like been ready, she's ready to go to bed or she's done watching her show or whatever. And eventually like he started letting like me and my cousin play. Like I can't remember if it was like Super Mario World or Castlevania. I don't know if you guys play that on Super Nintendo. But
Oh, dude, Castlevania.
yeah, it was one of those two that like I like the first games that I like played. And what was really cool, like my papa, dude, he those guys that like found all like the hidden levels on Super Mario World
Yeah.
and like knew all of it. He knew that game like front and back, dude. And it was just like looking back on, like I didn't see anything like funny about it then, but like looking back on it now, like it is kind of, like because he was real like sailor looking, or like not, he was real kind of military looking, you know what I mean? Had those like just gruff kind of tattoos and stuff. But he was a gamer, bro. He was a gamer.
My pop was actually the first person I've seen play a console game in itself as well, and it was Mario.
Right.
And he used to be another one of those guys that used to find like the secret levels. You go up on top and run right across the map, and
Yeah.
it's dope.
Yeah, I think the first like game that I ever played, it was also with my grandpa. But it was Duck Hunt.
That's awesome.
Played
Oh,
Duck
yeah,
Hunt, dude.
dude.
That
Duck
shit
Hunt,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Duck Hunt was sick. Where's that at? Like where's the remake? You know, I mean, I know they've made it, but like where's all these like shooting games? Just give me.
I think they made a remake of it for the VR, if I remember correctly.
Did they really?
Yeah, it came out around the same time that the Oculus Quest. I think that's one of the names of them. When that came out, I'm pretty positive that they went and released a reskinned version of it.
Right,
So,
right.
That was.
I wouldn't mind giving that a try.
I know. I was
Dude,
like,
I'd be
when
all
I
over
saw
that, for
that,
sure.
when I
Duck
saw
Hunt tournament,
that, and then like also I got like really, really into Beat Saber for a while there. Like I really wanted Beat Saber, and then I don't know. I just recently I just feel like I was kind of disappointed with the way that VR, because like VR has so much potential. It'd be so
Yeah.
awesome, and
just needs some time.
yeah, it really does. I mean, there's some
Yes.
lady that I follow. What's her name? Oh, she's on TikTok. It's gonna kill me if I don't remember her name. But she set up like this rig where it has like a treadmill underneath her, and she's in a full-on like circle, and it's like belted in. So every time that she would like go and rotate, like the treadmill would rotate with her, but it would change like the position of her player and everything. She was playing COD with the VR, bro. That shit's so awesome.
Yeah.
Except that would probably be
Yeah.
so much money. So much
That's an
money.
expensive controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, very expensive.
You want to hear some like some wild? Well, I say it's wild. Like it's just like I've told people this before. Like, and I kind of like every once in a while I'll get like an eye roll. But like those dudes that like those old guys that like I invented this back in my day, and this guy stole the invention from me. Like, so bro, I'm like sixth, seventh grade, right? And like your mind wanders. You know what I mean? And especially mine, dude. I'm just always thinking about something, right? And I can remember like I'm in like class like doodling one day, and I got on this like VR has always been like really interesting to me, like pretty much just like the headset of it all, like that immersion, like I not necessarily like what the game content was. I just always been really like interested in like just VR and like
Getting in the game.
or the possibilities, the possibilities with that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there daydreaming in class one day, and like I start like doodling, you know, like thinking about like how would somebody, you know, like how would you make that happen? And I swear I came up with like not exactly, but a very like a similar idea. I was like, okay, you'd need like a round, uh, 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 what am I conveyor belt? What'd you say?
Treadmill.
Treadmill, excuse me. Yeah, so like just like a round treadmill, and you know they like strap you in. That was as far as I got. And then later on, I saw that and I started telling my friends, I'm like, bro, yada yada yada. And they were like, yeah, dude, you're crazy.
That
They
is
stole my
awesome.
idea, man.
So you
I would
invented
have
it.
just capitalized on
That's
that
what
with
you're
my like 12-year-old idea, you know.
They robbed.
Skrew needs
What you're
royalties.
saying? Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, you know, like I'm not saying, but you know, I'm saying like anybody wants to send me a check, I wouldn't say no. That's all.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Oh man. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought we lost Mod for a second.
He's
there.
back.
Yeah, it got all buggy there for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like really weird in like the way that technology is going. Like I know like if Former was here right now, he'd be like, "Don't even get started on that topic again." Because Tommy and I sat there for literally probably half the podcast that we were on talking about like the way that games are going and social media and like all of that other stuff. But like God, technology is crazy right now. I
Dude,
mean, you
it's
got the
wild.
new
Yeah.
graphics
We're on
cards
the
that are coming
frontier,
out.
man.
Like you got new
Yeah.
graphics cards that are coming out. You got new phones that are coming out. Like it's just insane. Like
And everything is based
pretty.
around social media too. You
Yeah,
got Donald Trump on Twitter for fuck's sake. Like it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the worst part about it is when I went into like my job field, I was like, "Oh my god, this is brand new. This is going to be awesome. Like no one else is really going to be doing it," kind of thing. Because I went for 3D animation, and now it's like everyone that I talk to is either a 3D animator or makes game assets or like any sort of like coding or anything. Like everyone is doing that now, like creating new apps and stuff. It's like, bro,
Right.
what the heck? I should have just been like a couple years ahead of the game, and I'm still behind.
Right.
It's just so
Yeah,
funny.
it's crazy.
I don't know. I just
It's
feel
crazy
like
how
a
fast
lot of
things move.
yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff is like moving really, really quickly right now, and especially, I mean, like with Elon Musk. I don't know if you guys saw that or anything, but like essentially the next versions of the cars, so the new models of the cars that he has already developed are going to be going down to price to be like 25K because he like figured out an entire way of going and making it to where like the frames are cheaper and they're all like constructed in house as one piece and like all this other crap. It's like,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude's that dude is
Dude's an alien.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
He's a
I can hop on board with
genius.
that. I
Yeah.
can hop on board with that for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah,
Super
for sure.
genius. For sure, for sure.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, there's gonna be like people even bigger than Elon Musk down the road. You know what I mean? And they're just gonna invent even
Without a
crazier
doubt.
shit.
Yeah,
Right?
Right.
without
So
a
shit's
doubt.
just gonna get off the charts, insane.
Well, see, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, internet. I don't know who like was the first company to create like internet services. You know what I mean? Like that. That's just such a wide net to cast. I guess that no pun intended, because internet and everything. But I mean, there was a company that originally created the internet, and now you have Elon Musk that's going and taking that original idea and trying to make it to where you can get signal anywhere that you're at in the world with Skynet or whatever
Hmm.
it's called. So he's like the pioneer for that. So obviously there's just gonna be somebody that comes in and just fills his shoes, but is gonna have like 6 sizes bigger than his shoes.
Yep,
Like,
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
and that's just
Yeah,
how
he's
like everything is too. Like literally, you can look at that for streaming. You know, Like you had Ninja and Shroud, and then they left the platform. Not saying that they're not still big or anything, but with them leaving the platform, like Tim the Tap Man and everything, they went and got bigger because like
Hmm.
everyone that stayed on Twitch was like, well, I'm gonna go and watch somebody that's still on Twitch instead of going and downloading this for just this one specific person that, is only live between these hours. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Tim was set up for that. Like, or like whenever whenever those two like left, he was in a great
Yeah.
like. I mean, as far as like the positions go, that was like an ideal position to be.
Yeah.
He really did like catch. I mean, obviously like a big following from that. I mean, he already had one, but obviously it was like split up between them. They've always kind of been a team. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that, but like,
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say is that like, like I don't think that it played out or like I don't think that it was intentional. Oh, excuse me. I don't think it was intentional for him to get such a large like fan base from them, but like him going and playing and creating content with like Ninja and like Dakota and all of them, like prior to Ninja leaving and everything, like that right there just set him up for Ninja's community to just come in and like already adopt him as like their new favorite Twitch streamer because they already knew him. They already knew like what kind of personality he had, like what kind of humor he had, which is very similar to the way that Ninja is. It's just that way. Yeah.
yeah,
It's why it's
yeah,
never a bad idea to
he's got
collab
like
with anybody. You know what I mean?
really, yeah, yeah. You never know when like yeah, I mean you might have that like just funny ass moment, you know what I mean, with somebody. It just takes the right combination.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Um,
Just crazy.
so Skrew is you don't only stream, right? Like you make videos for YouTube and stuff too, eh?
Right, so like yeah, I mean so like that's what I was talking about earlier, like it's all just kind of like developing. Like that's what I was saying. Like it's kind of weird how I got into streaming. Like whenever I like first started doing it, like I said, it was like just for clips. You know what I mean? Just a better way of like going back and me like looking, oh, like oh, that was cool. You know what I mean? And like that
Yeah.
was it. And then like as I kept doing it, like I said, I just like enjoyed doing it. Like streaming and gaming like became like intertwined for me. Like it's became one and the same. And then like as I like moved away from like some of the games like I was just super into or more like better I should say uh like I started focusing more just like on like content. Like I've always appreciated the people that like stop by the channel, you know what I mean? Like I've always like appreciated that, but like I didn't have I didn't know like how much like like I enjoyed it. Like this has really become like, I mean, this is like, my hobby. Like I want to call it more than that. Like, you know what I mean? Cause I just do this, you know what I mean? Like I just want to do it. I, like, when I, like I said, whenever I'm laying down at night, like I'm thinking about, like, videos or I'm watching, Twitch, like streaming and just like the whole, like all of this content, stuff we've had for the past, I mean, it's been going on for a while, but like I got into it like, well, in 2018, late 2017, and I've just been like ingesting all of this stuff, like all across Twitch. Like I watch just such like random stuff. Like, I mean, most of the time I watch like games that I play, but like late at night, like I'm just like watching. Like I'm one of those guys. Like I'll go through like the really like low viewer streamers, and like I'll just like hop in and like say what's up to just like random people just saying what's up, and just I don't know, just like learning like from everybody.
Yeah.
um
On the topic of that, I thought it was really interesting. So like when I first started trying to get into streaming and everything, because just like you, Screw, like I am very much in the same boat. Like, I went to school for 3D animation, had a minor in like After Effects motion graphics, which is essentially what video editing is. So in a way it's similar. So like I have a much different experience with watching videos than a lot of people do. So like for me, I like to watch videos that have a lot of these different elements in them that like help hype up the channel a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I know
Right.
that there's a lot of people that are out there that, like, you know, they're really personality, like, driven and, like, community based and stuff like that, and, like, yeah,
Right.
I think that's an enormous thing for a streamer, but I think that is the reason why at, like, the end of the day, I tend to, even though during, like, work and everything, like, I'll have a stream on in the background that I'm kind of, like, half paying attention to, just to, like,
Right.
listen to something. But, like, at the end of the day, I never, like, when I'm going to go and lay down and relax for the end of the night, like, I'm not going on to Twitch. Usually, I'm going and trying to find, like, really interesting videos on YouTube and stuff. Like I just came across like this really, really talented guy. His name's Corpse. I don't know if anybody has seen anything about him.
I never.
Um
No.
so he's been really, really big recently because he is not only he not only does he produce music, so like he has his own songs. He just recently came out with one and it's blowing up on TikTok. Like, it's really, really popular on TikTok. But, like, his editing style or whoever edits his videos, they are so good. Like, there are just these little hints and elements that are, like, appearing throughout the video that are just, like, perfectly synced with everything that's going on. And I think it's so interesting to watch videos that are like that, where it just has, like, not an over amount of editing, like, because 'cause I'm not
Right.
one of those types of people that, like, wanna be overwhelmed while viewing something, but, like, I wanna know, like, you know, I want more of, like, a storytelling kind of idea to it, you know what
So
I mean?
because
Yeah.
you went to school for it and stuff, whereas if someone like me or Skrew or somebody watch a video and it's interesting to us and we get hooked on it or whatever, you actually can watch it and know what's going on inside the video. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? Like,
mean, most of the time, yeah, like, when it co I recently, I noticed that it's really, really popular, within, like, Among Us videos and stuff like that, where people will put, like, a heartbeat monitor kinda thing, like, down in the corner where it's, like, kinda going, and, like, I look at that and I'm like, "Wow, that's really, really easy to do in After Effects and stuff like that." Like, "Oh," and then it kinda, like, brings me into this thing where it's like, "I wonder if they did it in After Effects. I wonder if it's just a GIF that they got from somewhere." I'm wondering, you know, there's, like, so many different things, and there's, like, a lot of companies recently that have been capitalizing on that, like, you know, like, these free, it's not really free. They're essentially what they're doing is compiling, like, a ginormous catalog of a bunch of different, like, frequently used GIFs and stuff like that into one giant website to where somebody can go in and just, like, go and download stuff. And so, like, for me, like, I know 2 or 3 people that, you know, were either in the grade above me or grade below me or whatever, that's what their job is right now. They're just creating these little really, really simple gifs and stickers and stuff like that, that a lot of people that are content creators are just, like, downloading the packs and everything, but they're getting massive amount of revenue just based off of the amount of, like, ads that are based on that website that, like, when they go and download. And so there's just a ton of companies that are actually funneling, like, a ton of money into, like, these different websites and stuff. Um, just based off of ads alone. It's a really niche market, but if you can get into it, it's massive. It's a
Right.
huge payoff. But I mean, long story short, I don't know how I got to that from your question, but yeah, like I'm constantly thinking of, like, while I'm watching something, like, how they did it and how I would be able to adapt that to, like, my content. Um and I think that's the reason why recently I've been trying to make it to where my content isn't so drastically different from everyone else's, but I want to have, like, my own unique spin on it. And that's, like, the reason why I'm changing a lot of my, like, overlay graphics and, like, the way that I edit stuff for, like, TikTok and things like that is purely just based off of that same thing. Like, it's like ever since the pandemic and everything, like, streaming and content creation as a whole has
In
blown
general.
up massively.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go and stream now. Everyone wants to be a YouTube creator. Like, it was happening beforehand, but it's even more
Right.
prevalent.
everybody's stuck home now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's that, and then, you know, on top of that, you know, with I mean, there's a lot of people that were, going to college or whatever, um, and because of the way that the world is right now, yeah, they might be still doing like their college classes and everything, but they're still stuck at home and they're probably living with their parents most likely. They're not going to stay at the campus or whatever, so that means like when they got the stimulus check and everything from the government, like a lot of people went and used that money for, their groceries and stuff like it was, intended for, but there's a lot of people that used it for like their own personal stuff because they were in a position in which they could actually use it for other things. So like around that same time you saw webcams and microphones and mixers and everything else under the sun just like go like they were off the shelf. I mean, they're still out of stock here.
Yeah, they've skyrocketed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, at least like I know there's like this mic I've been looking at, that they're like gouging on it. Or well,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, so some guy is on eBay anyway. Like you can't find them in Best Buy or anything. You can't order them. Nothing.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
same thing with the cameras.
that was I was gonna go and upgrade my camera to a 4K camera, and I was gonna go and also upgrade I was looking to go and upgrade my mixer because like I was gonna get an audio or not an Audio Technica, a TC Helicon, I think is what they're called. The Go XLRs or whatever they're
Hmm.
called.
Dude,
I was
yeah,
gonna get
those
one of
things are
those, but they
sick.
were gone, bro. They're
Yeah,
gone.
bruh. The big, like the full size ones are sold
Yeah,
out.
both
Like,
the full and the
jeez,
mini. They're both gone. Like
wow.
I went in cuz like one of the only retail spots that you could actually get it was like at Guitar Center. So I went to go and order it and everything, and like it took them 2.5 months for it to like actually get into the store. And like by that point, they were playing this game where they just kept like pulling money out of my account and putting it back in and putting it in and then pulling it back out. And so I just got fed up with it and canceled my order. But yeah,
That's
that's the
weird.
only reason why I didn't go and get it.
Yeah, man.
Screw, what are you using
Well,
for a setup right now?
what am I using for a setup? You just like the gear?
Yeah.
I mean, so I've got the Logitech C922 for my camera, the Snowball Blue is my mic, HyperX mouse and key. I've got a what is it? Um, 2080 uh
Whew.
Super.
Oh my god.
Um,
You probably paid a pretty penny for that.
yeah, payments, brother, payments. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there you go. Okay, that makes more
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Like
It's
it's
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
yeah.
easy for me. Like I know I'm gonna use this. You know what I mean? Like you see
Yeah.
how much I get. Like at least that I game. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, this is a great investment for me. But yeah. So what I stop on my graphics card? I can't remember. Yeah, Ryzen 7. But yeah, and then I've got like I just recently got me like another monitor setup, which is nice, big nice.
Gotcha.
But you know, I kind of wanted to come back like mod like your question to Z a second ago. You were talking about like um how we can like notice things. You know, how so let me ask you like as you've gone on like and I mean you've done like a little bit of your like editing, right? Of your own.
I'm astonished by how you guys all edit your videos. Like you did a simple video when you're playing Vigor way back in the day, and you're sneaking up on a guy, and he turns around and kills you, and you just zoomed in on your face. I can't even do that.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
don't even know how to do
yeah.
that, and that amazed me. And it's one of the best clips I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, that one was funny.
Like I do no editing whatsoever.
Right. Well, so what I'm trying to say is like as I've done like you know little bits you know because I said earlier like my content just like on everything is like ever evolving. Like I don't really like I'm like I want it to be organic like all the stuff that I do like I want you know I want to maintain you know I said I just want to do this stuff I want to maintain that feeling so like I'm just kind of like you know if I feel like you know like I'm working on like YouTube like that's what I work on but I like put a whole you know I put a lot into it whenever I do but I'll mix around you know I'll jump around and I work on you know different stuff but as I've like started doing more like editing, not that I'm like great at it yet. I'm still getting better, but you were saying like when you watch somebody like it's given me like a more of an appreciation. Like I've always liked, well edited things, you know what I mean? But I didn't know like I didn't have much of an idea why. I was just like, oh, that looks cool, you know what I mean? But then like when you start paying
Yeah,
attention, it's like, man, syncing those shots up with the with the music or that fade in right there, or man, he clipped that perfect, like that seamless. Like you start paying attention to that stuff, and it gives you like a new, you know, I got I was gonna say new appreciation, but certainly a different perspective on like other people's content. You know what I mean? Like I can watch something that I'm not particularly interested in as far as like content goes. If I see some like interesting editing, if like something like catches my eye, I'll be like, oh, that's cool, and like I'll watch the video purely for that. You know, it's just I don't know. I find it really like all of this stuff just really interesting. But like I said, the problem is I'm always kind of like chase. I do have somewhat of a short attention span, so I'm always kind of like chasing one thing. Like I'll do this today, I'll do that
I
today.
feel you.
But I've been working on
Yeah,
that. I've been trying to set myself
Yeah.
on a schedule lately.
I think like
it's oh, go
as
ahead.
like a sorry. Well, if this is something that you are pertaining into the conversation, just go for it. Because mine's about to be a whole tangent onto a different subject.
No, like what Skrew was saying, like to line up different like shots and different themes or whatever into a video. Um, like it amazes me how that's done because even just putting music in a simple like I used to YouTube back in the day, like a few years ago or whatever, just different challenges. Like everybody wanted to be a YouTuber or whatever, but so even just putting like music in the background of a video, that used to be like I used to be so proud to be able to do that, and just to see what everybody
Took
else
me
can do right
forever.
now is just it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But
What I
Yeah.
was gonna say is that like so before college me and after college me are drastically different when it comes to content and editing styles and everything. When I first started getting into a lot of like the graphic side of things where it was, like everything was digital, um, like kind of realm and everything. Like your whole perspective changes. Like when I first started out doing a lot of art stuff, like granted for me, like I didn't really know that there was a bunch of people that were in my family that were like really artistically challenged or not challenged. Um, what am I looking for?
Inclined, artistically
Inclined.
inclined.
There you go. We'll go with
Yeah.
inclined because I was like
Yeah.
challenge definitely does not does not
Yeah.
meet the bill. Like because like my mom was adopted and everything. So like the grandma and grandpa that I grew up with were not actually like my biological grandpa and grandma. So like my real grandma, she lives in California and she's a phenomenal like oil painter. And like my aunt is phenomenal at like cutting out little like me saying this is going to really downplay her art, but essentially what it is like cutting out like a bunch of paper and like layering it and getting like these really intricate pieces. Like she's done stuff for 21 Pilots and like Megan Trainor and stuff like that.
Oh,
But so like going from the side of things where all of my personal like all my personal art and everything was like physical graphite, charcoal, and stuff like that. Like trying to transition from like that really flat mind space into something that is more like three-dimensional and like you're really taking into consideration like time and space and like how things are interacting with other things. Like it really like opens up your mind for like a bunch of different things. And I feel like as of recently, just based off of like all of the different technologies and like all the different games and everything, like a lot of three-dimensional like applications just in general like are readily available for people who are coming into the game late for content creation. And like that's why I noticed that a lot of these people that are creating content, like nowadays, like it's so easy for them to wrap their heads around like editing and like trying to adapt their editing style and like all of that stuff because they are so used to like intaking that content and everything. For me, when I
Right.
was growing up, like you had side scrollers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I know that like when I was younger and stuff, like there were like, you know, Tomb Raider and stuff where it was like really early 3D work and stuff like that.
Right.
But like everything was so boxy. And now like you go and look at a game and you're lucky if you see any edges or anything. As someone who
Right.
comes from the 3D field, like when I first started freshman year, it was like everything was about getting like all of the game ready assets as low as possible so then they run smoother in the engine. Now it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't with the 3090 and stuff coming out. You can have these game files that are massive. Like that's the reason why Call of Duty, like that's the reason why it's like every single update is like 100 gigabytes because that's not
They can
important
take it.
anymore to them, you know? Like it like the game still runs perfectly smooth. Yeah, it looks phenomenal. They have a bunch of different textures and everything that are like 2048 resolution. Like none of that matters anymore because of how much like all of these systems have changed. I mean, even with the new consoles that are coming out, they're going to be running
Right.
at like what 120 FPS or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
Maxing out there, like
it's
they're
nuts.
pushing it with the consoles right now. Like
Yeah.
The new consoles are
they're
crazy.
really competing, well, I say they're trying to compete. Like
Yeah.
there's there's obvious like lines there, but um yeah, the new consoles like. I honestly, like I'll say this, like I'm glad I don't have to buy one, like or like you know what I mean, because like I want one, you know, it'd be super cool. But like with this, like with my Xbox I got now, like I can probably run like any of the next stuff coming up, or like so, yeah, anyway, maybe not, but at least hopefully if it's like cross platform, at least I can get it on the PC or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I
That's
don't
the other
know.
thing.
How much is the Xbox is supposed to be? Like the new one?
I think there's one model that's supposed to be 500, which is like the X, like the top line one, and then there's a
Okay.
251. But the
Oh, I thought they
200,
were okay. I thought they were
yeah,
more than that.
I think maybe it's 250 or 350. It's one of
I
those
could,
two.
yeah.
It's still
I'd
cheaper
say it's
though.
probably like 350 ish
Yeah,
for the cheaper one.
I know that the cheaper one though can't hit the same. Like it can't be true 4K.
Right.
Or maybe that's the PlayStation 5 digital version. One of them like can't hit true 4K. It can scale up to 4K, but it can't hit true 4K. But like that's the thing, you know, like now with all of these new like with all the companies and everything that are making these games, like there's not going to be that divide where it's like, "Oh, I can't play with you cuz I got an Xbox. I can't play with you cuz I got a
Yeah.
PS4 or whatever, you know, like
I'm
I can't
looking
go and
forward to
play with
that.
you with the PC." Like now it's everything is getting to the point towards cross platform. I mean, like
Majority of games now are all crossplay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Majority.
And then on
I'm
top of
really
that,
liking that
like
trend. Yeah.
that yeah, and then on top of that, you got Microsoft that's going above and beyond and making the ultimate Game Pass where like you get the whole library from the Game Pass that you have on your Xbox on your PC now. So you can go and download the games that you already have on the Xbox or your PC. So then they run better on your PC, like well, depending
Right.
on, you know, your specs and everything. Which speaking of which, I have to upgrade. But that's besides the point. As soon as you said you had a 2080 Super, I was like, ah, oh, lucky dog, bro.
I'm like check it out. Like actually, yeah, I'm very lucky. I was like it just kind of came up at the right time. I was like, you know what, I can do it. Let's just do it. Make it
Yeah.
happen. You know.
So, like, with that in mind, though, are you kind of sad hearing about the 3080s and everything? Because, like, the 3080 is essentially the 2080 Super, but a little bit better and like half the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah. So yes, like yes and no. Like I mean, yeah. I'm like it is like a little bit like it bums you out a little bit, but I mean I'm really happy with what I have now, and especially like they actually just like Nvidia just updated like some drivers for it
Yep.
when the new ones came out, and I can tell you like in Tarkov for
Yeah. No.
sure I've noticed a difference in like how well the game runs, and actually like some stream quality. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed some improvement. I don't get like quite as much pixelation, you know, in the all the grass and forested areas.
And like not only that, but like for me, I wasn't able to run Escape from Tarkov and stream at the same time. I don't know if it was the compatibility between OBS and Escape from Tarkov, but whatever it was before, I wasn't able to do it. And then they went and released the new graphic up or like the new graphics update for like everything that's the 10 series up to the 30 series that they're coming out with. Like once they updated that, and then I think OBS came out with an update to match that same thing. Like now I'm able to actually go and play everything. Except for whatever reason, whenever I go and play Among Us, I drop frames.
Really?
Which makes no sense to me. But hey, it
None at
is
all.
what it
That's
is.
crazy. Yeah.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny is what it comes down to. But Mod, you
Among Us is such a
do
dope game.
Did you
Yeah.
say you do or do not have a PC, Mod?
I do not have a PC. I'm still streaming from my Xbox, which is like the old VCR looking thing. So,
What do you mean the old
I just
VCR looking thing?
like the one that's like this thick.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
a big
Like
box,
day
you know what I
one,
mean?
day one Xbox
Yeah.
One. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same one that I have. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So, what is the
it's a little grimy
process?
looking, but
So, what's the process for you, like, in order for you to go and stream? Because, like, personally for me, you know, I didn't start doing any type of content creation until after I had my PC built. So, like, when I got my PC built and everything, I went and bought the Elgato HD60S and everything. So, like, I have that running into my Xbox. So, like, what is the difference? And like, what complications do you have to go through in order to like set up your overlays and everything? Because I can imagine it's a little bit tricky.
well, the laptop that I have won't even run OBS properly. Like I can't even stream through OBS. So my buddy Skull Gaming, he's a close friend of mine. He's in my hometown or whatever. He has all my passwords to everything. So he set up an overlay expert for me and did
Oh,
all
that's
my
cool.
overlays on that. And that allows me to have my overlays, but I can't see my own overlays. Because with the laptop I have, I only have my chat open. It won't allow me to have my own stream open and shit. Like, it's so crazy.
Wow.
You make
Right.
it work though, man. You make it work.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
like
it's-
anybody that goes into your stream definitely would never know that. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I had no idea, and I've gone into your stream multiple times. You know?
Yeah, it's all through overlay experts. And I only recently just got a monitor. Like, I used to play on this TV behind me here. It's a
Mhm.
55-inch. And, like, through a couple Twitch paychecks, shout out to my viewers. You're all fucking dope. But I managed to invest in a 4K monitor. And when I first got my monitor, it was like I didn't see much of a difference. Like everybody else, like, yo, monitors are dope, get one. You know what I mean? I didn't see much of a difference. But then I had one of my friends get on an Xbox party with me. It's like, yo, change a few settings on it. I can't remember what the settings were, but when I did, everything just became really crisp, and I'll never
Yeah.
go back to a TV again. Never.
Yeah.
So like that's
So I
like
think-
the biggest thing is like
Yeah.
for obviously for like Xboxes and PS4s and stuff like that, like there's only so much of a limit that it can go and handle. So like you could have like a top of the line monitor and you would kind of see a difference. But like I totally know what you're talking about because like before I went and like made my setup and everything, I was actually gaming off of this right here. So I feel it. I feel it. Like
Yeah.
it like not only that, but like your reaction times get like so much quicker just because it's
Oh, for
much
sure.
smaller space and like yeah, your
You can get
eyes
better
don't have to
response
travel.
time, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to travel as much.
I think it's gonna be the same thing, like, because eventually, obviously, I want to upgrade to PC. Like, I want to be able to do my own shit. I want to be able to edit my own videos, make my own overlays, things like that. So I think once I go to a PC and start gaming on that, I don't know if I'm gonna come back to Xbox, man. PC might be.
Totally,
No.
yeah, no, totally fair game,
So-
especially with the way that everything is changing, like we were talking about. You know,
You can always just
there's
hook up
not
a
going to be that
controller, too.
divide.
You know?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, literally, I didn't even think of
mine
that.
is like you know what I mean? Like if there's a game that takes it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
hooked up. Like I've got a couple that I play, that I still use controller for, you know?
I actually
Just
think
like,
that's
you know, natural.
think that's really funny though, because when my brother went and recently built his computer and everything, and he's like, I really want to try that game that you've been playing, which at that time it was Escape from Tarkov. So he was like
Oh yeah.
over and everything, and he's like, I don't know if I can do mouse and keyboard. Can I like plug in a controller?
The controller, dude.
I was like, dude, there are way too many keys for that. There's
you know,
no
you
way.
supposedly you can. Like, there's
Oh
people that there are
my
people that
God.
do it. There are people that do it, and
So
like
I
I've never seen it. I don't know anybody like, but I've heard like in other people's streams.
Yeah, so like
Crazy.
I have a scuff controller, so I have the paddles
so you got
and stuff on the
paddles.
back.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of imagine it for that, or like in the Xbox Elite controller or Cinch Gaming. Shout out to Cinch Gaming, our sponsors and everything. Use code Feens. Use code Feens and checkout, and you get 5% off. But anyway, like I could totally imagine, a lot of these studios and everything going and making it to where you're going to be able to fully customize plugins for controllers. I mean, there are softwares that exist out there already to date. Like there is one that I used to use all the time. What game would I don't remember what game I used to play, but it was only on PC at the time. Warframe, that's what it was. Used to play Warframe every once in a while, and they didn't have it set up to where like you were easily just able to go and plug and play. Like you had to go, like I went and downloaded like a third party software in order to set up all of the keys to be onto the controller, because at that time I was fresh to keyboard and mouse. Like my accuracy was all over the place. I mean, still to this day, bro, you get those moments where it's just intense fighting and you're just like, oh my God, and like your cursor goes all the way to the left.
I am screwed when it comes to keyboard and mouse.
It's taken a while to get used to. Escape from Tarkov was like my introduction to PC gaming.
I think that was, I think. Well, that's I would say it's weird. It's really weird. Like I wouldn't say that it's like my first introduction to a PC game, but it was like my first like hardcore introduction, should I say? Because like that's the first game that I played that had more than just WASD and spacebar and control and shift, and then your mouse. Because like I played CS:GO, I played Valorant, all of that stuff. Like they're all the same structure, but then there's Tarkov that you can do Alt T to check mags and Control T to go and check the chamber, and then you can
make
go
sure
and
you drink water before
right.
you go. Like
Oh yeah, dude. There's so many like different aspects to that game. It's nuts.
I want to get into it so bad.
So
it's a good
that's the next goal now.
With the way that games are going, like there's tons of talk where there's going to be new games that are coming out that are similar to Escape from Tarkov, because a lot of companies have seen the success of battle state games based off of that. Do you think that there's going to be a lot more, like how how like when Fortnite came, or not Fortnite, because DayZ was the first battle royale, right?
Better PUBG. I think it was DayZ.
I think it was DayZ and then PUBG. So like when the whole revolution for battle royales came out, you had this massive surge in this like surplus market of battle royale games. Like do you guys think that there's going to be like a hardcore market that comes up out of the woodwork for survival type games like Escape from Tarkov?
I mean, I would say like like I could like kind of agree, you know what I mean? Like, but I would think it would be more like there's definitely an opportunity right now, and like like when I say this, like I'm kind of like afraid this is gonna happen. This is like a suspicion of mine. Let me break it. Like, so I'm like,
are you investing right now?
Yeah.
Get this in writing.
Yeah. No.
Oh
so
yeah, there you go.
If Nikita takes like too long, or BSG, I should say, like takes too long, like there is kind of like an opening for somebody to come in. Like they'll have to do their own thing, but like games rip off other games all the time. So like if there's somebody that like has the money to capitalize on this right now and like give like Tarkov players, like, because what a lot of Tarkov players want is PvP, man. They want an arena mode, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what I want. Like, I'm still new enough to the game, like I don't even know everything, you know what I mean? Like, but I would like I would of course would like that, but Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if somebody came out with that concept, which was like pretty much a reskin of Tarkov, but it was like 80% PvP and then 20% like the looting of Tarkov or hideout stuff, whatever it may be, like they would kill the game. And it's just because like you get any sort of like competitive aspect to a game, you know what I mean? And I mean, of course, like Tarkov is competitive right now, but in an obviously like different way. Like you don't know what you're running into. Like you can be as sweaty as you want, or you can be like as lackadaisical as you want. But like anything that's like just straight up like, all right, we're going into like we're going up against a team of four with another team of four, it immediately gets heat or first stun. But feel like that say BSG did that added like that would bring a whole set of like new players, well, maybe not new players, but it would certainly bring back a lot of the community that has already spent money on the game and it hasn't really been playing it as much. Like from what I understand, like this is my first like full wipe playing through. Like it kind of
Agreed.
happens like mid wipe they like fall off a little bit,
Yeah,
but
Aren't they still in beta? Tarkov?
they
mhm,
are still very much
yeah,
in beta.
yeah,
That's
Essentially,
crazy.
the way that Nikita is talking in
it's got a
like
long way.
Battlestate games is that it does have a very long roadmap ahead of it. Essentially, what a lot of the creators that are kind of like partnered with Battlestate, so like let's see, there's the Bloody Knob, I think is his name. There's Bloody Knob. There's Clean. There's Pestily. There's like a whole slew of different content creators that are on Twitch that are kind of like more or less partnered with Battlestate, but not really at the same time. They run a podcast that they talk directly with Nikita in it and stuff like that. Like Nikita is very open about the game and like the way that he talks about it. He pretty much says that like Tarkov isn't like his baby child game. Like he is not invested in it. Like this isn't the game that he wants to like be creating, but he needs to create it in order for like his company to survive and stuff like that. But he also at the same time, like even though he's saying these things upright and like front, he wants to create a game that is going to be enjoyed by the community and stuff like that. And so like right now, Tarkov is very much in this weird like slew where like the fundamental game itself is supposed to be a PvEVP, so player versus environment versus players, but right now it very much feels like a PvP. Like there's not enough like filler in there, and that's the reason why a lot of like you'll see it like with like top content creators with people who aren't even content creators that are just playing the game because they enjoy the game. Like it gets to that mid wipe and a lot of people like a lot of their whole like player base just goes. It just
Right.
disappears,
Yeah,
and it
everybody gets their tasks done, and like,
yeah,
or what they were, they get to like level 40, and then by that time they've
exactly.
got enough money, and they're just like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
and they
because
wait for the
essentially
next wipe.
right now, what it's like is it's like, oh, you start out at the beginning of the wipe, level 0 with your stash, which has like not really a whole lot in it except like your starting gear for you to go and run raids and stuff. And then you just keep going and doing these tasks from the traders in order to get different items and stuff like that, different crates, and the whole 9 yards in order to like upgrade your stash and like you also get all of the money and stuff from going and create or completing raids and like looting people and looting the environment in the game and stuff like that. And then towards the end or towards the middle of that wipe, you got everybody that's like level 45 or whatever, and either fully looted where they have all this tons of money where it's like 44 million rubles, even higher. It's just it gets to the point to where like people go in there and they're like, all right, well, I'll just go and buy the best armor, the best helmet, the best gun. And wow, look at that. I only lost 1% of my stash, like that
Right.
that's where it's gonna like lie. Like where are they going to go with the way that their whole game, like they need
Well,
to
so
change
they've
a lot
got.
of the fundamentals.
Well, it is. This is like from what Nikita says. Like this is not like really anything like what it's gonna be whenever it's finished. Like it's supposed to be Escape from Tarkov. Like you're gonna start in the center, like you're supposed to start in like streets of Tarkov or something on that big
Yep.
map. It's supposed to come out and like work your way out.
Yeah.
And even like the traders like that you get the task from are gonna be like in-game people.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to like
physically
go to their
in-game.
shop and it'll be more like have somewhat more of a storyline, but it's just the game is it's like right now it's like one of the most ambitious games out, you know what I mean, as
Yeah.
far like at least hardcores. um uh and this is just a part of it, is what's really crazy. Like all this is to say, like, while Tarkov like may have its issues, I fucking love this game, dude.
Agreed.
It's just got like so many like dimensions to it. You know what I mean? And like I put a lot of hours into it, and I still don't have like everything down. Like there's maps that I still like that still bug me out, and that that's another thing. Like the immersion you get from the game, and it is because you have to pay attention to so many levels. You know what I mean? You got the right ammo, you got your gun on the right fire mode. Okay, look around this corner. Well, I heard that sound. You know what I mean? Like you've got to take all this stuff into consideration just to stay alive, and that in and of itself just really envelops you. And like that's the game gets me pumped out of nowhere. Like just sometimes for no reason, we hear some gravel crunch and it's on.
Yeah. I was about to say massive adrenaline rushes happen in that game, and that alone makes the game for me.
I'm excited to get involved with it. Like I need a PC now.
You needed a PC like 2 days ago, brother.
You're right. You're right.
Get there, bro. We'll make it happen for sure.
We'll make it happen.
Sorry, I have to like turn on my lights because it's starting to like lose the natural lighting now. But yeah, I mean, so like I guess a similar game to it is very much Vigor. Like, am I if I'm not mistaken, right? That's how you got into it.
I got in. Well, so I was watching Summit and watching him like play Tarkov. I had been for like 2 or 3 months just straight. Whenever he got into it, just interchange run after interchange run. And I saw somebody in chat say like, and I just like briefly caught it like out of the corner of my, how you watch streams in the background.
Yeah.
And I saw in chat was like Vigor is Tarkov Light or something to that effect. And it was like 30 seconds. I was like, Vigor, what? Is anything like Tarkov? Like I'm all over it. And I got into it, and like it. I mean, at the time I was streaming on console, and I streamed like everything I played. That didn't really matter what it was. Like I was just, if I'm gaming, I'm streaming. But so like 2 or 3 days in, that's like when I met Mod. Or I think it was it was like the first week for sure that I met Mod.
Coming to the right there.
Well, yeah, we gamed for a
we slayed a few lobbies.
yeah, a few. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Just a few. Yeah.
So like Vigor right now is still technically in beta, correct? Or is the game out?
The game's out now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So like, do they have like a roadmap or anything planned for like content updates and stuff like that?
Like they have things planned, but they haven't given us an official roadmap yet.
Gotcha. Because I was about to say, like, for me, like, I've never played the game. I've never touched it. Like, the only thing I know is it's a survival game. I've watched you and, like, Former and Drake and all of them. Like, I've watched, like, countless hours of you guys going and playing it. And it looks interesting, and it looks really fun to play. Personally, for me, like, I stream at a different hour than all of you guys. Like, the only person that I'm close to, like, stream time-wise is Former. So when it comes to that, like I personally don't feel comfortable going and running it by myself because I have no idea what I'm doing, So like, that's why I was wondering, like, what kind of content do you think needs to, or is going to be coming to Vigor, like in the future? Or like, what would you like to see change or be expanded on,
Oof. They need throwables, and they also need. This is my opinion. A lot of people's going to give me shit for this, but they need to limit the amount of tools you can bring into the game, because there's a big issue in the game now with people duping. So like duping portable detectors, signal detectors, whatever, and mortars. So now you got people going in with like 10, 15 portables, 5 or 6 mortars, and they're just like, you run around the map out here, ping, 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 like they just know where you're to the whole time. So I think they need to limit that and definitely add throwables. But
Gotcha.
Didn't they have Molotovs at one point? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
like early days.
I think they had grenades or Molotovs. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
But they did have it way back
They
when
were
they
OP
took it
from
due to
whatever they
balancing
were.
issues.
I heard they were OP. Yeah,
Yeah.
balancing issues. Got you. That's a very technical term. I like that. Balancing issues.
I was about to say, I feel like that is like a gaming company's like go-to phrase. If something is wrong within their game, they will go and immediately say, we have balancing issues.
Well, I mean, it's a common problem,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
and it's an understandable one. And
Yeah.
as far as that one goes, like it seems like they took care of that one pretty quick. It must have been bad. It must have been really OP.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like-
I mean, actually, think about it. Like, get caught in a house in Vigor with somebody that's got like a Molotov. They just huck it through the window. What are you gonna do? Hop on the cabinet?
You're going nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going
you know.
nowhere fast.
Yeah.
So, dirt net.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
Cool.
I think we should be good to wrap it up here, eh?
That's what I was just about to say. I think
yeah, I think
we reached our time.
Yeah,
I want to say one thing though. I'm super excited for Skrew to be on this team. Super
Agreed.
excited.
Big agree.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually really stoked.
So I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
So the very first day, which was what, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
first
You're
day
talking
that
about
I
it. We
met you.
like
2 days
yeah.
or 2 weeks ago on that Tuesday when we went and played Tarkov. Well, actually, I
Right,
mentioned
yeah.
a couple days before that because Mod was like, well, I tweeted out something like, "Hey, I need more boys to go and play Escape from
Yeah.
Tarkov," and then Mod was like, "Yo, go and hit up my boy Skrew. He plays it. Let's do it." And so
Yeah.
you know, I will forever go back to this. When I first met Former, okay, I was playing Rogue Company for the very first time, very first day that I streamed it. All right. And I ran up against, I think Former was playing with a couple of the Stream Theme boys. I want to say Drake was there, or maybe Sinister. Somebody from the team was in the game with him. And like afterwards, I mean, they completely clapped us. Like I said, it was the very first time that I played Rogue Company. My other buddy, it was the first time he ever played it either. And like, yeah, and only 2 of the people on the team of 4 had actually played the game before. So they absolutely clapped us, and he came in and he's like, "Yo, dude, like GG's, dropped a follow, dropped a sub and everything," and then was like, "You know, I gotta go peace, but hey, dude, just hit me up on Twitter sometime. We'll totally go and run some." And then, you know, like the rest is just written down as, you know, I joined the Stream Feens. You know, I got to know Mod, I
Right.
got to know Drake,
The
and
rest
everybody.
is history.
But going back to my original point, like I knew as soon as I went and said, "Hey, Skrew, we should totally run sometime," and you're like, "How's next Tuesday?" I knew immediately. Then I was like, "All right, he's gonna be in the Stream Feeds." I was like, "I'm gonna give it a month." I'm pretty sure that I even mentioned that to Former. I was like, one day when Former and I were just sitting in here, I think we were chatting about something related to like the contract or something like that. I was talking to him, and he's like, "Yo, so what do you think about the Skrew guy?" I was like, "Dude, he's dope. Like, I've been making like some dope
Shit.
content. I've been enjoying the time that, like, you know, we're running around just dicking around on customs and stuff like that." I was
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I knew it right then.
I told
yeah,
Former
man.
weeks ago to check out Skrew.
What was that?
Dude, it's
Screw's my
kind of
boy.
funny. Yeah.
I've been trying to get Former to check out Skrew for a little bit now. Like,
Oh, really? That's funny.
I needed that to happen, yeah. So as soon as you brought up
stream-
Tarkov, I was like, bang, Skrew, let's go.
Yeah.
That's just way in.
Hell
Yeah.
Hurry
That's
up,
the way,
call
man.
him up.
Yeah. It's like so I was going back and looking at that stream though, whenever or a stream whenever, yeah, it was the first one whenever Former like hopped in, or it might have been that Tuesday, I think. I think
Yeah,
it was
that
first
Tuesday, Former also joined. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like
But then
halfway in.
I was going back, like I highlight my videos or whatever, my streams at the end, at the end of a stream I'll go back and just like check out whatever. So I'm like going through, and like there was a point where I had like had my headset off, and I like I former he was like, bro, Screw's headset's off. Why the fuck ain't this dude in Stream Fiends?
Literally,
is there
that's what I'm
something?
saying.
Is there something I need to know? Like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, why is he not? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the guy. Like, where's he at? Like, I just thought that
That's
was
so
hilarious.
funny.
Like, it feels, and what I'm driving at is like, I think what he was getting at is like, this would be a good fit. And like what I'm kind of feeling like I was a bit, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit hesitant at first. I always have been, as far as like dream or joining like groups and
Teams,
stuff, as far
yeah.
as like stream teams, excuse me, as far
Yeah.
as like this stuff goes. But Mod was with it. Like that's pretty much all it took. You know what I mean? Like that's that's my boy.
Mod's
So
already there. I'm just
I mean,
gonna join.
if Mod vouches for it, like Mod has a good idea of what I'm
Yeah.
about, and like, you know what I mean, like my personality. If he thought it was a good idea to like reach out, like, and you guys vibe, like, anyway, it feels like a good fit, and I'm really stoked. Like, I think we can all make some dope content together.
Yeah,
really.
that's what. Yep. At the end of the day, that's what it is. I'm telling you, dude. It's only gonna be a matter of time until somehow, some way, former and like some of the other boys like go and team up and like actually go and meet up, because we were talking
Right.
about it in one of the podcasts, and I full on think that it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, I don't know if Mod's gonna be there because obviously.
I'll make it happen one day, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll be
sir.
around.
Yes,
So.
sir. I like it. But yeah.
Might have to flee the
Well-
country. We'll see.
You mean we're gonna have to flee the country to go up to Canada, bro?
Really?
or you guys,
Yeah,
I
either
think
way.
that's a
But,
little bit more likely than the
I'm
other
good
way
there, boys.
around. All right. Yeah.
bro.
I think that's it. I think that's good.
Yeah, I had a good time. Boys.
Anybody want to do the outro, or you want me to do it?
You got it, brother.
Yeah, go for it, brother.
You got me. Okay. All right. All right, guys. This is it for the Stream Fiends episode 9 of the podcast. Really off-topic subjects today, but hey, it was a lot of fun to record with you guys. So
For
once
sure.
again, I'm ZLB Studios. There's Mod. Mod, say hello, or well, I guess goodbye.
Hello. Goodbye.
and our newest member, Skrew.
Hello, goodbye. Nice to meet you guys.
Oh my god, this is the most butchered outro I think I've ever
Well,
recorded.
I did this thing, so I don't know what that was.
It is.
But
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're
Yeah.
rolling with it. If you guys are new around here, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. Also make sure to check out all of our links down below. We got Twitter, we got Instagram. We're gonna have a TikTok sooner or later. We got merch line now, which big news coming for that pretty dang soon. So make sure to follow us on Twitter because we post a lot of updates there. Make sure to check
new
out our
stickers now as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So-
A former told me about the stickers, so make sure to check out that. Eternal Customs. All of the links are going to be down in the description below. Also, make sure to check out Rogue Energy. Just dropped a new flavor, green apple, and they also have a bundle right now where there's the green apple and then also their new shaker cup, which is orange. So make sure to check those out. And last but not least is Cinch Gaming, and you can use code Feens at every single one of those. Capital FEENS for a discount at checkout. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all we got for you guys today. We will all see you in the next one. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.